Good afternoon. Today I'm talking to Alan Gorevan. Good afternoon, Alan. Would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us a bit more about yourself and your books.
Yes, but can I just flip a question back at you with your permission? Because I saw on Twitter earlier that you told me you were going to be nice to me this evening during our talk. And about 30 seconds later, I saw you looking for questions that would make me squirm. I'm just wondering what happened during those 30 seconds that offended you so much.
I will always be nice, I promise. I promise is a promise and I won't break it.
Okay. So my name is Alan Gorevan. I'm a thriller writer from Dublin, Ireland, and I self-published some books last year. So I think the first one was about 10 months ago in April. It was a short book called The Forbidden Room. And then I followed that up with a few more. And my most recent one is The Kindness of Psychopaths, which came out in November. And we're currently having a blog tour for it on Twitter this week. So I've seen, this is day 2, and I've seen 4 of the reviews so far, and it seems to be going well. So I'm very happy with that.
As you should be. So did you always want to be a writer?
Yes. Yeah, I was always writing stories, and I kept doing it over the years, and kept trying and kept taking classes and stuff, and then, you know, taking workshops and reading books on craft techniques and that kind of thing.
And then what made you finally take the plunge and go for it?
Just the pandemic, really. Yeah, so I just did it to occupy myself, and it was a fun way to do that. Yeah.
What did you read and what inspired you as a child?
I read a lot of Enid Blyton, the like the Famous Five and the Secret Seven, and a lot of Roald Dahl. Yeah, I think those were my biggest influence. So you have sort of the adventure stuff from Enid Blyton and the kind of horror stuff from Roald Dahl and the kind of black comedy stuff. Yeah, so I'm probably still influenced by those.
And then what influenced you from after that?
I guess in university I was studying literature, so I was reading a lot of classics and stuff like that. And then I rediscovered thrillers and crime fiction sort of later, a few years later, and began to enjoy those again. So those are what I read. So when I was, my writing finally caught up with what I was reading. Yeah, which is probably a good idea.
And your first few books were short stories, weren't they? The Kindness of Psychopaths, your first full-length novel.
It's the first long one, yeah. It's about 500 pages, and I did a few novellas, which are about 100 pages, and some short stories. And then I have 2 kind of like short novels, Out of Nowhere and Better Confess. So they're both about 250 pages. But yeah, The Kindness of Psychopaths is the first really full, long, complex one.
So what made you make the leap from the short ones to the full length?
Probably that the shorter ones are good practice, and you're sort of growing in confidence. If you can pull off a short one, then it's good practice for completing something longer.
Awesome. And I think when we spoke the other day, you said that you'd now got a publisher and an agent. So are all your ones so far self-published?
They are, yeah. Everything so far is self-published, but I did sign with an agent last month, Annette Crossland at A4 Authors. So she'll be, looking at publishers and I guess I might go from being a self-published author to a sign up a hybrid with some self-published and some traditionally published. So that should be interesting. See how that goes.
And exciting.
Yeah, totally. Well, more readers. Like today, I saw someone looking for one of my books from a bookshop, and like they were having this conversation on Twitter with the bookshop, and the bookshop was saying, no, we don't have it, and you can probably get it from that other evil place. And the potential customer was sort of like, no, that's okay. I don't have to read the book. So it's just like, if the book isn't in shops, then yeah, some people won't read it.
It's really crazy, but okay.
Yeah.
That's quite sad actually, because they're missing out on so much.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just some people don't want to use Amazon at all, which I can understand in one way. They want to support local shops, but maybe they don't realize that a lot of small authors aren't in the local shops. A lot of indie authors are not in indie shops.
Yeah. Do you have a writing plan? Because you've got a day job as well, haven't you? So how do you fit it in around your day job?
Yeah, it's been a strange year, but I guess the usual plan would be to write in the morning. I think that's the best for me, because if you can get a certain amount done early in the day, then you can, that's it. It's not like you won't get to it later on. So that's a good plan. It's just about sticking to it.
And do you have a word count aim each day, or do you just write and go and see what you come up with?
It's a bit of both. I think like 1,000 words is a nice kind of word count because it's achievable. It's not insane, but it's enough that if you do that every day, it'll definitely get you a novel in a relatively short space of time. So yeah, that's a pretty good word count. And of course, if I can go above that, that's great. Yeah.
And are you a plotter or a pantser?
I kind of like to have an idea where I'm going and then mostly figure it out as I'm doing it. I don't really plot it. I think outlines can be a little bit stifling sometimes, but it's nice to have a roadmap. It's nice to know where you're going, but I guess if you have an outline, you can always leave it behind if you have a better idea. Yeah, because when you're writing it, you always come up with new stuff, new twists and new ideas that you couldn't have thought of in advance. I think it's all like you develop the characters as you're writing, and then if you're kind of listening to the characters, you'll get ideas for what they should be doing next. And it's the kind of thing that you wouldn't get in a plan, because you're just kind of thinking about moving the character from event A to event B to event C. But then when you develop the character, they might not be the kind of person who does that. May not make sense for the character.
The Kindness of Psychopaths is so complicated, I guess. So did you have to write down who was doing what and when so that it made sense at the end?
Yeah, eventually I did to resort to these unfortunate measures. Yeah, I got a spreadsheet and I got a cork board and cards, and I did keep track of everything. Because if you've read the book, you'll know there's a lot of stuff happening with different characters at the same time. And people are moving around Dublin in cars and on foot and on bikes and stuff. So you need to make sure it all makes sense chronologically and in time and everything.
And when we spoke for the interview that probably won't ever be seen, you said that you knew the ending.
Yeah.
And did you know the beginning?
Not exactly. I think I was saying to you in that interview that will never be shown that I came up with one beginning, and then I realized I kind of had to back up and explain it. So I wrote about an extra 100 pages at the start that basically sets it up better, because I was afraid that there was so much backstory that it could get complicated, even more complicated for readers. So I definitely want to keep it straight and keep it simple for readers. I don't want to confuse people.
And I noticed on the blog tour today, one of the other people said that the opening chapter was one of the best they've read. Was that your intention when you wrote it?
That's definitely the intention every time I write an opening chapter, but it's hard to be confident about that. Yeah, I mean, I love books that suck you in straight away, definitely, and don't let you go for the whole book.
Yeah, you definitely managed that. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Because for people that don't know, the 5-Star Bar Girls and I were supposed to bloody read it, but we didn't really. I finished it first because I couldn't put it down, and then Chloe followed quickly behind, and then Kate, and then Zoe finished it. But yeah, we all liked it.
I still feel sorry for Kate's plan that was not followed at all.
Why? Poor Kate.
What was the plan? How many chapters were you planning to read each day or whatever?
We were planning to read it over 10 days, I think. So must have been 4 or 5 a day. I don't even remember. It's bad, isn't it? Once I started, I knew. I was like, no, I'm not stopping reading this.
That's a great sign. I love that.
I thought you might, yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously the burning question from us is there going to be a sequel?
Yeah, I've had so many people asking that question. So yeah, I'm very happy to continue the story. And I've kind of tentatively begun work on a sequel. So there will be more of Joe. We'll continue the story.
And did you think when you wrote it that it would be possible to have a sequel? Did you write it with a sequel in mind?
Not exactly, but I knew that I wasn't. Yeah, I kind of did and I kind of didn't. Like, I think the idea was to wrap up all the loose ends so that readers are satisfied. But then I couldn't resist unraveling one thread at the end to sort of intrigue people a bit. So I knew that could lead to, could lead to more.
And would you ever consider writing in any other genres?
Probably not, because maybe not at the minute. I think I'd like to keep trying to master the thriller because it's so hard to do. Like, I think it's an unforgiving genre. You have to get so many things right for a thriller to work. You have to, like the characters and the plotting and the pacing, and it all just, people won't forgive you if you make a mistake. I think so. Like, I've tried to write different genres before and it wasn't particularly good. Yeah, I've tried to write fantasy and literary fiction and horror and almost everything. And yeah, the result was pretty bad. So no, I'll stick with thrillers for the moment.
Do your friends and family read your books?
Yeah, some of them have read some of them. I know, yeah, a few of my family members have just finished Kindness of Psychopaths, and I think they were kind of surprised by it. I'm waiting to hear back from some of them, so I don't know if they liked it or not.
Oh, you don't know it. So who's your first readers? Who do you trust with your first draft or when it goes into the world?
My dad is actually a big thriller reader, so he's been reading the ones I've released so far, and he doesn't hesitate to tell me if something is boring or bad or something else. So that's perfect. That's exactly what you want. You don't want someone to tell you it's good. You want someone who can help you make it better. So that's great. Yeah, he reads a lot.
Oh, that's cool. Is he proud of you though?
I don't know. He hasn't actually said that.
Must be a boy thing. What's your biggest goal as an author?
Definitely reaching more readers. getting the books in shops, getting the books everywhere so that people have a chance to see them, and they don't have to go to just Amazon. That would be great. And of course, we're all interested in movies or TV stuff.
Yeah, The Kindness of Psychopaths would make a wicked film.
That would be interesting, yeah. Who can you imagine playing Joe?
I might have to think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to think about that. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Yeah, I'll think about it and I'll get back to you. I'm the one asking the questions.
Are you?
Don't make me think. My brain is shot. What's been your favourite moment as an author so far?
I think seeing the first paperback, when the first paperback arrived of The Forbidden Room, it was just like being able to hold it in your hands and see it printed was just so nice. That was a great moment.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's more tangible because so much of the time you're just looking at a screen, looking at words on the screen, but actually having something that you can hold is great. So I'm very happy to have like a stack of my books. Well, not a big stack, but to have copies of my books there on the shelf so that I can actually see them as physical objects.
Awais, is it? Your biggest #1 fan would like to know if you're doing a sequel to Better Confess.
Well, thanks, Awais. Yeah, he's been very supportive of Better Confess. I think it's his favorite out of the 2 books he's read, 3 books he's read by me, and I think I might do a prequel rather than a sequel if I was going to do one. I don't want to give away the story, but that might make more sense. I'm going to stay tight-lipped. I don't want to give any spoilers.
Have you made friends with lots of other authors?
Yeah. I think like Awais and so many authors, like there's a lot of support in the book community, and not just authors, but readers and bloggers like yourself. Yeah, it's been overwhelmingly positive. Such a supportive community, so it's been great to be part of it. Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah. So do you get lots of feedback from readers?
Yeah. In the form of reviews, mostly.
So not direct contact so much.
Occasionally, but yeah, not too much direct contact. Yeah, I guess if they really like it, they'll let you know, or if they really hate it. But so far, it's been mostly positive.
Except for weirdos like the 5-star bar that just what's your biggest fear, and would you ever write about it?
Probably like dying, and I write about it in every book. If you've read any of my books, you'll know that people are constantly dying. So yeah, that's pretty in your face.
And which of your books would you most like to be a character in?
God, absolutely none of them. I mean, it's usually my books are about something awful happening to people, so yeah, I'd prefer not to be part of it. I'll stay outside.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Well, it depends on who you were, I suppose. We wouldn't have much chance of coming out the other side, would you?
No, yeah, I mean, your chances are really bad. Yeah.
What's your most embarrassing story? And I've given you a chance to think about this.
Yeah, you did. And I think I've blocked out most of my embarrassing stories because I had a hard time thinking of anything. But I thought of one involving my terrible sense of direction, uh, which was in New York. Not sure if you know Central Park, but on one side there's like the Natural History Museum, and on one side opposite there's the art gallery, the Museum of Art. So I remember walking out of one of them, I think it was the art gallery, and walking into Central Park and having a wander around and thinking I'd go to the Natural History Museum. And then I meandered out the other side, what I thought was the other side. And I saw this amazing, impressive building. I was like, wow, this is great. And walked in and discovered it was the art gallery again. So that is just typical of my sense of direction. But in fairness, they shouldn't sell beer in the art gallery.
No, I guess not. If you could spend a day with an author, dead or alive, who would you choose?
Maybe I'd choose Gillian Flynn, although I think it's pronounced Gillian, which is very weird. I don't think I can say it like that. So I'm going to keep calling it Gillian Flynn. Yeah, and I just spend the day persuading her to hurry up and release some new books. People are waiting.
Yeah. Do you get a chance to read much?
Yeah, I think the last year has given me time. I think it's just like a lot of people, maybe they're not able to concentrate as well as normal. I'm not sure if you suffered from that because you're flying through books every day.
Yeah, no, not a problem.
Not a problem. Yeah, I'm hoping to get more reading done now because I've got so many books I'm looking forward to reading. I've got like a stack of paperbacks and loads of books on my Kindle. In fact, you're to blame for me buying most of them, like Mark Tilbury and several other people who you recommended, John Richter, Tony Porter.
Yep, you need to read all of Mark's, all of Tony's, all of John's, and then I could probably give you another 10 authors that you need to read.
I'd say so.
So yeah, I'll hold off for now until you've caught up a bit.
Yeah.
If you were to invite 4 famous people for a dinner party, who would you invite?
I think I'd go for Angela Lansbury, the actress from Murder, She Wrote, because I'd love to write a Murder, She Wrote movie. I think that would be awesome. And I want to do a crossover with the X-Files. So I'd have Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny there too, just to persuade them all to work together. And then I was thinking about who could direct this, and I think I have to go for Tim Burton. I would try and persuade him to leave Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter behind for one movie and work on this project. I think that would be an interesting movie.
Yeah, it would be very interesting, actually. If you were...
I think she's 95 or 96, but you know, I'm still confident that she could do it.
Yeah, us women, nothing like that will stop us.
Yeah, I think older people don't get as many like interesting roles in movies and TV. So.
I mean, I don't know how old Maggie Smith is, but she's one of the most epic actresses ever.
So, yeah, she's brilliant.
Yeah,
I need her in it as a killer.
Yeah, she just needs to look. That's all she needs. Yeah, she's epic. Now you've made me completely lose my train of thought. I don't know. See, this is what happens when people ask me questions. It gets that was it. If you were gonna write a book with another author, who would you write it with?
I actually tried writing a movie with another author before, and it didn't work at all. So who would I pick? I could just pick one of my favorite authors like Linwood Berkeley or somebody, but I'd always be afraid that it would drive us apart and that we'd never talk again after trying to work together. I think it's really hard to collaborate on a novel. Maybe Patterson. James Patterson is always collaborating with people.
Yeah.
But I know he writes an outline and then he gives it to the co-author to write.
Yeah, I know, lazy git.
Yeah.
And sells millions. They are good though. Not that I've read one for a while. I need to catch up. What superhero power would you choose?
Breaking into prison, being able to break into prisons, because yeah, that's what my one regret about The Kindness of Psychopath is. I spent months trying to get into a Mountjoy prison, and they wouldn't let me. They wouldn't give me permission to go inside. So I was extremely disappointed about that. I did talk to prison officers and I did read about it and I did watch videos and stuff, but I was not able to get inside. And I walked around outside. But yeah, I even went to a recruitment fair where the Irish Prison Service was recruiting prison officers. And I talked to the recruiter about getting a tour of the prison to see if I wanted to work there. And she agreed. But then when I emailed her later, she never got back to me. So I'm not sure if she found out that I'd already been trying to contact the prison and emailing them already about it. So maybe she found out I was a writer.
Yeah.
But that was really disappointing. I really wanted to get into that prison.
At least you didn't go so far as to try and get arrested to,
No, I didn't have time. I thought it would take ages, so.
What's the most interesting thing you found out when researching your books?
It's probably something I didn't put in the books. I think it's great when you're talking to people and they like tell you sort of stories and they might not be things that you actually put in the book or that you're even able to talk about, but it's just like fun stuff. Like I talked to some detectives and they always have some interesting stories.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, but my lips are sealed.
And I think it's Zoe's favourite question is, what's your funniest typo?
Yeah, I can't think of a single funny typo. I have no memory of that whatsoever. It's probably because I make so many that, it's just like water of a duck's back. It's like hundreds every day.
And one of my other regular people likes to know, if you were to put a music or a soundtrack to your books, what would you choose?
Interesting question. It'll probably change depending on my mood. I'm not sure. I really like the way Drive has a kind of a 80s vibe to it. So maybe I'm not sure if that would really suit one of mine, but it's worth a try.
Yeah, I like that as well. Yeah. Oh. If you were stranded on a desert island, what 3 things would you want with you?
Can I bring a hotel?
You bring whatever you want.
Yeah, I'd bring a luxury hotel. That would be great. And a couch for on the beach. And some sort of some way of getting milkshakes. That you need to stay cool.
I mean, assuming that a hotel would have a couch and a fridge.
I know, it's like built-in redundancy. I'm just being careful. I want to make sure I get to sit and have a milkshake.
So basically you're not planning on leaving at any time, you're just going to chill in the hotel on the deserted island.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. As long as it's a luxury hotel.
Yeah. I like the way you think.
Sounds okay.
That's the best answer yet, actually. I'll give you milkshake and a couch as well. Yeah.
Got to be
Nice.
comfortable.
So, what is coming next for you?
I'm writing a new thriller, which I'm very excited about. I think it's going to be fun. And then Kindness of Psychopaths sequel as well. I think it's going to be fun. I have some fun ideas for what's going to happen in that. So I think those are both going to be interesting.
And then what's your plan after that?
World domination. Need to displace Patterson.
Well, me and the 5-star bar girls are on a mission and a race to get your name everywhere. So, you know, we're working on it.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome. Well, I don't have any more questions unless there's anything that I haven't asked that you wish to share with us.
No, I just want to say thank you for inviting me to speak with you. And
Begging was more the point.
And if people want to find if people want to find out more, they can look up my page on Amazon or go to alangorevan.com.
And anywhere else they can contact you?
Of course, they can come to the train wreck that is Twitter at Alan Gorevan, and Instagram at Alan Gorevan, and Facebook I'm Thrillers by Alan Gorevan.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.